So it was separated in like 3 tiers for waiters, okay? You got the head waiter who oversees the operations, kind of like a floor manager for like a certain section. And I mean, this is ritzy as shit that these cruises, once you pay for it, are all decked out, right? They got white tablecloths. And I know I'm fucking up on the mic. Tablecloth.
Tablecloth.
Is that you, Junior? Did you get the tablecloth?
Yes, but the caramel's enough.
So you got these tables with extremely thick white table toppers.
It's like a bedcloth.
Yes, exactly. It's so nice. I shouldn't be there.
You should just lay on.
There's 3 forks on my left. There's
just
3 knives in front of the table. I mean, in front of the plate. And on the side, there's like 4 different styles of spoons. I know that this is common in normal people who earn over $50,000 a year. They have like fancy meals and shit every once in a while. I am not exactly the hoity-toity,
my fancy life. I have had my 3rd house party this week.
Exactly my point. These fucking rich people who kind of like the Fire Festival fucks, all right?
Yeah.
The influences. So there's a meal fork, an entree. What is it? It goes appetizer fork, entree fork, dessert fork. On the top it goes like appetizer fork. I mean, there's like
I have no etiquette that way.
But it is a thing. And it was presented every single evening that we sat down in this place. And the first thing that would happen is my fucking kid would grab all of it and just start making the drums on the plates and everything. And I'm like, thank you for bringing it down to my level, son. I am too out of my element here. My wife, she's fancy. She's fancy as F. You know what I mean? She's when I'm talking about my wife, I don't like to swear. You know, at least to respect her and her
likeness.
Her likeness, exactly. What a great way of making me not say something extremely stupid.
You're welcome there. I'm here for it.
So she understands all this British colonial style fucking eating habits and everything. So she's like explaining it to me. Because the last time I had something like this in front of me, the spread was very different. It was like a steak dinner. There's a steak fork and a salad fork. That's it. You know what I mean? And they have a steak knife and a butter knife. Just fucking applicable utensils for a meal.
Wow. That's...
But that's like a Lone Star Steakhouse. Like, it comes in one napkin. It's not presented on each side like a fucking fancy dinner.
Yeah, like comparing that, just like what I'd use is just a fork. That's what I'm using.
Exactly. So,
like, even to me, just using all that, I'm like, like, that's alien language. Like, I don't even use it.
It's foreign to me. But like, everybody in the United States who isn't like a low-end gutter slut knows what to do.
Yeah.
I'm a gutter slut. My parents
worse.
raised me right, but let's face it, I turned out shit. You know what I mean? I like things that are cheap. I'm very affluent to things that I gravitate to broke shit.
Yeah, like
if it ain't broken,
plates.
I don't want to fuck it. Yeah, real plates, but
Plastic
IKEA
forks.
Real plates. They're porcelain, but we don't have a china cabinet.
Oh.
We got 4 plates. We got 3 members of the family. We can have 1 guest. And I think we have some extra plates from the wedding from like a decade ago. So, I mean, we have extra shit, but we use the same shit all the time.
I'm about to buy me like nothing but disposable plates because I hate doing dishes, bro.
Yeah, you had like the same dishes in since the first night I got here, which was like a month and a half ago, the first coffee cup I ever used. I'm assuming it was washed and changed out. But,
yes, it was.
But I was like, this is totally a bro's apartment. This is a bro down apartment. So as I'm getting ready to sit down at these meals, the first time I'm looking at it, like I'm trying to understand the physics of like what is the thing with man? They always say it. The diversity of man or
something.
I don't know. Welcome to Podcasting Without Editing. I don't give a fuck tonight.
Perplexity of man.
Yeah, basically trying to understand the psychological differences of why I've been such a low-class rat, not knowing how to use the 3 forks, it's like the Demolition Man reference. He wakes up 5,000 years in the future. Taco Bell is a high-end restaurant because it survived some fucking war, and you have to wipe your ass with a seashell. Still don't really understand how that worked out. Never explained it in the movie, but it was supposed to be one of the running taglines. Basically, that's what this is. I'm trying to understand physics sitting at a table at the cruise.
Like, I'm trying to... You got me confused. Like,
I told you how each one was used, but
like,
you forget it in the meal.
Yeah.
And they put a napkin on your lap, and I'm like, these are Hollister jeans. They're less than $15 a piece. I bought them on the clearance rack. I don't care if they get barbecue sauce on them.
Yeah.
Or, excuse me, mushroom meld au jus. Fancy as fuck bullshit, you know?
I don't even know what that tastes like. It probably tastes
It's just like a mushroom sauce.
Like
they
water and mushroom.
I don't know, it's just not my thing.
Like a watery... The
food thing,
sauce.
I'm good with the food. I know how to eat food. I know how to make food.
Yeah.
Like, make food. I know how to do that. I worked on a line. I know how to make food. This shit is presented to me in a beautiful way, but it all comes in the broccoli or the asparagus is up in the mashed potatoes, and then the lop of meat is pyramided against the mashed potatoes. I'm talking about elegant as fuck shit.
That's pretty cool.
And they did a great job. Every meal was absolutely fantastic. But our waiters, and going back to this whole workers thing, is after the entire cruise is over, like I'd say day 5, last supper in the nice, fancy, rich room.
Yeah.
We are talking to one of our the tiers of waiters. So there's a head waiter who oversees the entire like a section, because I mean it's huge. It's made to feed 2,000 people, so it's a big room. It's like imagine a conference room, like a large one, at like the concourse down in Orlando's convention center. Like it was that fucking big, but it was fancy. And then you had a second tier waiter who is the guy who takes care of you, brings you the food specifically, takes your order. The guy who understands the mechanics of what's happening on a basis of the consumer to distributor.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And the third guy was the guy who had cleaned your plates. Not a busboy. I don't want to say busboy. He was really talented at what he did, and he was perfect. And we actually got to know each of them pretty well, the two lower tier guys. But talking to the dudes at the end of this, one of the guys was named Michael, and he was telling us about the life of a cruise employee, and they work for 7 months on contract. So this is how it works: 7 months on, 2 months off. 7 months on, 2 months paid vacation. This is mind you. So they give you vacation for 2 months because you basically have no days off for 7 months.
Wow.
But they make a shitload of money because they have room and board covered. Their days off, they get to go to some country off port. Like they could be in Mexico one day eating tacos and quesadillas, I don't know, like normal Mexican food.
Yeah.
And the next day they could be in I would say Jamaica eating jerk chicken, all right? Or Cuba, or any of these places. I'm talking to like Caribbean cruises in this particular instance. But they have no time in their bunk bed, and they got bunkmates as well. Like they don't live in a large studio apartment. It's one on top of each other in bunk beds or separate beds, like a college dormitory, like old school college, not new school college where everybody gets to have their own room and then they have a common place. No, talking like these are fucking tiny vestiges with 2 people and a closet, and it's like a hotel room for a cruise is basically. But you're an employee and you get half the space that a normal person would have. So your whole life is in one suitcase, and you don't really need your own clothes very much. I don't know. It's just could you do that kind of life? 7 months on, 2 months off, 7 months on, 2 months off?
Depends. I mean, I probably might do it. I mean, I'm single. I live by my own, and if I really saw that, if that's a job that I would be willing to take, I would. I mean, it pays enough. I would.
It fucking pays. I'm talking like when you get down to brass tacks, they have hardly any expenses because the cruise feeds them. They have to. I don't see any other way that they could keep that many people on board. I mean, they probably get, I don't want to say the slop, but they get the leftovers or the kitchen. I wanted to see the kitchen of this ship. There was so much interest in how they operate on a business level. There was that curiosity. Because of all the stuff that I'm working on behind the scenes on our podcast and everything like that, I was curious, but I just didn't have the initiative. So I got, firsthand accord from the employees, and they say they sometimes work 10, 12 hours a day, sleep, wake up, do it again. Do it again. But there's no chill time. There's there is 24 hours in a day, but 12 hours straight. You're going to spend 12 hours fucking sleeping.
All right. I mean, shoot.
Would
money.
You, though? Would you take on that kind of life?
Yeah. Money.
Yeah?
I mean, not for the rest of my life, but it'd be a short amount of time where I'd be building money. I'd be stacking.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and we were talking with my wife, and I'm just like every other American. I have some kind of debt that needs to be paid off, and I'm like, well, shit. I could do what these other people are doing, jump on a boat for 7 months, but then I thought about how much it would affect my family and stuff. You know what I mean? It's different for like a couple of days where you don't see your kid or you don't see your wife, and you're like, okay, I could deal with this. It's a little strange. It changes up the day-to-day rhythm, the day-to-day grind. And I mean, in times it could be pleasurable not seeing those people. Yeah. At the same time, it could be if you are with your family like all the time and then having to be away. And I'm not talking like the 40 hours for work. I'm talking like 72 hours away from your family. I mean, that can, for some people, their happy medium is their family. And I don't want to say I'm one of those people because I have a very, very different kind of life than, say, most families do. Yeah. I have a Japanese wife. I have a mixed child, and she's a flight attendant, and not giving any more away without putting her life at risk. It's hard to she sometimes disappears for a couple days because, that's her job and everything. So I'm doing a podcast. I'm working my regular day job, but I could just see that this 7 months of time not seeing your kids in real, like, not on a screen of some kind where you're Skyping with them or making some kind of video chat communication. I just, if you, like Michael was telling me, and Michael's his name, going back to the waiter, was telling me that years back, he's been doing this for a couple of years. He comes from, mainland China. So yeah, he's really deep into the mainland of China, the farmlands and everything like that. Not things where Amazon Prime just brings their drones. Yeah, you go ahead and say
rural China.
Yeah, exactly. Country Chris knows.
Yeah, because I'm country.
He's country.
I lived out
country. By the way, we were trying to figure out where the fuck you're actually from because you said you're in between Bithlo and Titusville.
I was born I was raised in Yucatan on Cimarron, and then I moved out to Wedgefield, way past Bithlo.
Wedgefield, where is this?
Wedgefield, that's
is it north?
No, it's east. You go way, you're going out to Cocoa Beach. You cut on 520, you're going out to Cocoa.
I don't think I understand the geography of Central Florida as well as I thought I did. Because, some of these off-brand towns are just, I don't know where they are.
Yeah, because this was it's a boondocks, way out in the boondocks. This is you have to drive out there to get to Wedgefield.
So it's it's not, and it's county roads. It's not interstate and shit, is it?
You have to drive 50 all the way East Colonial, and then 520. I think that's county road.
Okay, so from Titusville, is it north or south? Say I hit the coast. Where am I going now?
From Titusville,
south or north?
You could either go to Titusville or Cocoa because there's a fork on East Colonial. They'll either go to 520 or go out to Titusville on Christmas.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. I'm still not really. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
I couldn't spell it. I was like Wedgefield.